You know, as my son says, YOLO, motherfucker.
I don't even know what that. Oh, is that what that means? You only live one. Thank you, Chris. I've been wondering for a long time. I never knew what that meant.
Jesus.
I'm pretty good at the internet jargon and shit, but that was the one that I was having issues with, and I was afraid to ask. So
It's June 6th, 2015. Steve's sounding more manly this morning. And this is your Fortean Slip news.
I decided to have the sex change operation reversed. That's all. I did
That's
make
all
a
right.
sex.
I'm pretty sure I called you a transsexual, so that means you didn't really technically have the operation.
Yeah, well, I was in the midst of it. I just never, I did. My female voice is awful sexy though,
It's
so
amazing.
I'm happy with that. Yeah, I can't believe I could do that kind of female voice. In our first story today from openminds.tv, apparently the mayor of Montreal has had a UFO experience. Pretty cool.
Well, the mayor of Toronto is a fucking whack job, so.
Well, yeah, these Canadians, I love Canadians, especially our artists, but there are some crazy ones up there. Our artist being Fred Dunn, of course.
Good old.
Good old Fred Dunn. Montreal Mayor Dennis Coderre talked about his personal UFO encounter as a 15-year-old boy. Adding to the list of elected officials who have seen or reported a UFO is Mr. Coderre. As a 15-year-old student interested in pursuing astronomy, the young Mr. Coderre told a science fair interviewer about his own personal UFO encounter. The interview now resides on YouTube. The YouTube interview is in French. Oh, geez, what good does that do for us? But the details of his encounter were translated by Jeremy Hazen at the MTL blog website. The reporter asked him why he has a fascination with UFOs. Hazen reports, and Coderre explains that it's because of his love for astronomy. He claims that one night when he was observing the night sky, he saw a UFO. He says the object
One night when he was observing the night sky and a gentleman was fondling his penis.
He says there's no mention of penis in this article at all.
Oh. That's another story.
I think that's a story, back to the sex change
Come
type
here, little
thing.
boy. I'm going to show you a magic trick.
He says the object appeared out of nowhere and floated through the air, suddenly stopping in its tracks and heading back into the other direction. Coderre claimed that this was the moment he knew it was not an object from our world. Must be aliens. Coderre, originally from Quebec, was sworn in as the 44th mayor
If you
of
see
Montreal
an object in the sky, Steve.
He was sworn in November of 2013, excuse me. Yeah, he was a Liberal member of Parliament for the Montreal riding of Barossa. I have no idea about this Canadian politics shit. Barossa from 1997 to Here's my thing about this story. I'm not going to go into the rest of it because it just talks about his background and shit. But how come they always wait till after they're elected to tell these stories? That's what I want to know. You think there might be something that
I want to run on the platform of I believe in Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, Loch Ness Monster, UFOs.
You wouldn't be the first one to actually run on that platform.
I want to run on that platform and fail miserably.
Well, you will. From the Oregon, excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. I think it's part of that transition back to being a man.
Well, when you start pumping yourself full of testosterone again after having your hormone therapy.
From OregonLive.com, Maybe not everyone believes in Sasquatch, but it's still a good thing to look over your shoulder when you hike in Southern Oregon. Why? Because Sasquatch wants to go
No,
hiking with you,
Brian.
apparently.
Steve Alcorn's not a man. He's a woman. A beautiful Dutch woman.
Oh, jeez. You totally threw me for a loop there. I'm going to start over.
Sorry.
Sasquatch wants you to go hiking in Southern Oregon. There we go. We started over. At least that's the opinion of the authors of a revolutionary new hiking book, Hiking Sasquatch Country by Wendy and Gary Swanson of Grants Pass. Hey, Grants Pass sounds familiar for some reason. They found that dead foot or something there. The book covers 39 hikes and 37 historical points of interest in Southern Oregon, selected for their beauty more than for their physical challenge. What makes this book unique, also in the opinion of the authors, is that all but 3 of the 76 adventures are linked to an online photo journal for the reader to preview on their laptop or mobile device. Hikes range from above Wolf Creek, the Rogue River Trail, past Calise, through the Illinois Valley, across the Applegate Valley, and through the historic areas of Oregon's border with California. This is Oregon's Bigfoot country in the wilds of the Siskiyou Mountains of southwestern Oregon's Jackson and Josephine counties. It sounds wonderful. If you run into Bigfoot, don't call the sheriff in one of these counties because you're more likely to see a Sasquatch than a deputy. There's 37. Apparently, there's no cops out there.
Ah.
Yeah, that might be a great place to go.
It's Bigfoot country.
Yeah, not cop country.
Yeah.
The 37 excursions are attractions that you can drive to, and with limited walking, are mostly field trips into some of Josephine County's rich history through Jackson County's, though Jackson County gets a nod too. So these are places you can drive to with limited walking, Chris. Sounds just like regular Bigfoot research to me.
Exactly. You just fucking drive out there, put your chair out, start a fire, turn on your flashlight. Bigfoot portals abound.
No, when you turn on the flashlight, the Bigfoot portals go away.
Oh, yeah.
And that is in Oregon, too.
That's
Southern
right.
Oregon.
So your chances of finding one of those are pretty high, I guess.
Yes.
And if you're pretty high, it's probably higher.
The Sasquatch stories are from recorded history in Southern Oregon, such as the Alameda mine killings of 4 gold miners by 2 mysterious ape-like creatures, and the author's own unexplainable and possible close encounters of the wild kind. And remember, it wasn't too far south of the border where Bigfoot was caught on film in the world-famous 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, made in the Klamath River drainage. And that's that story.
Good times.
Good times. And I saved the best one for last because this one is really intriguing.
Look,
to me, and
Brian,
I think
there's Clay Alcorn. I can't believe that came out of Steve Alcorn's vagina.
From the Business Insider, Jack Horner. Is that the guy's real name, Jack Horner?
I guess.
Okay. Jack Horner, the paleontologist who worked on Jurassic World and the rest of the Jurassic Park films, has plans to make a dinosaur.
We're all fucked.
A real dinosaur. No, there isn't dinosaur DNA trapped in amber waiting to be replicated and cloned, but that's not the only way to make a dinosaur, said Jack Horner. The paleontologist who worked on Jurassic World I just did a Skyla. I read the same sentence twice.
Look at you reverting your transgendered self.
And he wants to make this happen anyway. How did we get to this point where Horner, one of the main inspiration for Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park character Alan Grant, thinks we can make a live dinosaur within 5 to 10 years? Well, it all started with Jurassic Park. Horner told Business Insider in an interview. In 1993, the same year the first movie came out, he and then graduate student Mary Schweitzer, I think that's how you pronounce it, who has continued to make some amazing discoveries in the field of paleontology, tried to extract DNA from dinosaur bones. Well, they failed. DNA basically starts coming apart as soon as a cell dies, says Horner. And no one has ever found intact dinosaur DNA.
I'm
He
always
doesn't
I'm
think it's
always
possible.
banking on the DNA coming apart as soon as it leaves. I leave it on somebody.
If you did the thing that they did in Jurassic Park, says Horner, referring to the story's solution of filling in dino DNA gaps with frog DNA, well, you'd basically have a frog. About 20 years of genetics research later, however, Horner has another plan, and it relies on the fact that we have a more effective way to get dinosaur DNA. We have creatures on the planet that are direct descendants of dinosaurs, like birds. And if you ask a paleontologist, birds are dinosaurs, specifically avian dinosaurs. They might not look like dinosaurs, but birds have feathers, just like dinosaurs, including the ferocious velociraptor. Over time, their descendants' snouts turned into beaks. They stopped growing tails, and wings further evolved into modern bird wings.
And now they
You
eat
can hear that
seeds in a
clicking.
cage in my house.
Yes, but birds didn't necessarily lose the genes that code for tails or arms or snouts. Instead, those same traits most likely exist in their genetic code, inactive, while the newer genes for wings, tail, feathers, and beaks are expressed. Horner thinks that we can suppress these new genes and express the old ones, throwback dinosaurian genes instead. And his plans is to do this first with a researched bird that we're all familiar with. Yes, Chris, a chicken. Giving us a chickenosaurus, as he described it.
Lizard chicken. I'm all about lizard chicken. Let's fucking fuck
Dino
some shit
chicken.
up.
He called it a dino chicken.
I'm all for dino
Just
chicken.
picture a small feathered creature with a tail that helps it balance, small arms with claws, and a toothy snout instead of a beak. A real velociraptor, but just the size of perhaps a large turkey. Horner has talked about pet dinosaurs for a while. He publishes of his book, How to Build a Dinosaur, Extinction Doesn't Have to Be Forever, came out in 2009. Originally planned to be released around the same time as Jurassic Park 4.
But
Basically, Horner says he... What?
But he didn't make it in time to get it out.
I don't... I'm guessing because they don't actually tell you when it actually came out. Basically, Horner says he's trying to discover the genetic pathways that turn birds into modern creatures we know, so we can turn back the clock on a chicken's evolutionary history. He actually goes on into the story. It's a very long story, and you can read it at whatever the news source I said at the beginning of the story because I'm in the middle of the story and I can't see it. But he goes on to say that you can actually, reverse engineer these things from the old DNA that's hidden inside. So you could actually probably go back to Neanderthals, Chris.
Yeah, the implications are pretty crazy, but I'm all for pet dinosaurs. Let's have little fucking dinosaurs chewing on kids. That'll be great.
Right.
I want to see the lawsuits from that.
He even talks about making unicorns and things like that by recoding the DNA that's existing in maybe a horse or a zebra or whatever. So that'd be kind of neat. But he does go on to say that if we actually do this, it's not an actual dinosaur. It would actually be considered a new species. So it's not like recreating a dinosaur. It's just creating a new species out of what already exists. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Good times.
Yep. And that is the news.
Woohoo.